Made on Zencaster.
Yeah, you guys, it's a lot more comforting to be around two bearded guys, you know? I don't know how weird that sounds, but, you know, I mean, come on. If you're at the grocery store and you see a guy who looks like you're like, hey, you know? You just kind of look at each other like, yeah.
When you go to the grocery store, you see someone who looks like you, but without a beard on, you're like, beard.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Billy.
And I'm Jimmy.
We are the Bulk and Skull of podcasting, and we want to welcome you to the numbskullery that is the Zeo-to-Hero podcast.
Where creators and fans come together to share their love of their fandoms.
All right, so welcome to this episode of Zeo-to-Hero. Tonight, I am joined once again by the one, the only... I couldn't follow that one up really well, but tonight,
I'm leaving this in,
or whenever y'all listen to this episode for us, tonight y'all are gonna need y'all's tinfoil hats for tonight, buddies. Because today we are joined with a special guest, Casey, all the way from the mighty
Illinois.
Illinois.
I'm sorry.
Get out of here right now.
Illinois, get out of here. No.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. Gosh darn it. Sorry.
But we
everything about you, the one that I can't stand is you from Illinois.
So he's all the way from the YouTube channel Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories. And boy, this is gonna be a good one tonight. How you doing, Casey? All the way from Illinois.
I'm great.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it. I'm very excited. Like I said, you guys comfort me very much just looking at your very beautifully bearded faces. So
no one else who's listening to this podcast has the other 20 minutes of references we just made about beards.
If we go missing for some reason, check Casey's basement.
It's in Illinois.
Illinois.
Oh, no one's gonna drive through those cornfields, man. They're too scared.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna go to that Chicago and get their deep dish lasagna.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not pizza, it's lasagna. Get it right.
Oh,
that's a real conspiracy theory here. Why do they call it pizza?
Oh, it's heavily debated up there. So
no, I want to know is why did they put chili on spaghetti up there? That's so wrong on so many levels.
You're talking chili mac?
No,
chili
mac?
Yeah,
the chili spaghetti.
It's like Steak and Shake's chili mac?
No, that's fine. No, like
that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But when you put it on spaghetti, it just makes no sense.
Wait,
I got to be honest. I never really have done that. So I mean, I've heard of chili mac, but I've never done the. Never done chili on spaghetti.
What is it? Chili beans or no beans?
No beans, chili on spaghetti, and it's like no cheese, no tomatoes, chili, spaghetti. That's it.
What the world?
And it's super wrong on so many levels.
That's an atrocity against human rights.
If I find anybody doing that, I'll let you know.
Oh, let me know. I'i'll drive up there and I'll personally beard them to death.
Yeah.
Done. Stay down.
God,
yeah, there's. I might be mistaken. It might not be a Chicago. Oh, it's a Cleveland thing.
Oh yeah, that's a little ways away from.
Yeah, it's only 8.5 hours away.
Right. Well, you know,
almost had to do a crusade here. Almost had to crusade it.
Well, you know what? Let's go. Let's go reconquer Cleveland anyway. Cleveland's
could be the Texas times 2.
You know what? Let's just go take care of Toledo while we're at it. Toledo, Cleveland.
You know what?
Chicago.
You know what?
All of Wisconsin.
We'll probably give up 8 hours in because it takes 8 hours to get out of Texas. So I'd probably give up.
Once we hit Arkansas, we're just gonna turn back around. Be like, no, we're good.
We're good. We're done.
I'm not trying to do that again. No.
Good try.
So to go up to your area from Texas, you have to drive through Arkansas. That's 6.5 hours through Arkansas.
Not doing
6.5 hours.
And that's just a bunch of looking at a bunch of trees.
And then you hit Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to Missouri. And
so, Jim, like your directions just got out of hand. So did this conversation.
Want to try this one more time? Want to do one more intro?
Nah, we're good right
That's
here.
it. Before we insult every state.
Oh, I could go on a rant about every single
Oh, wait,
state.
Idaho. Those guys could go that. No.
Boise could go like suck it.
Yeah.
I have more than enough stories about Boise that I hate.
Yeah. Can we just split California off? Can we?
Yeah.
They're trying to
Then
leave
wait.
anyways. It's fine. Just let them go.
Yeah.
We're probably
Just
gonna get
have
a
them
lot
take
of-
Oregon and Washington with them, but leave Walla Walla because I want to build like Walla Walla. That's the only reason. Like that's the only thing that should stay. Walla Walla. Because they have a really cool comic book store there. The
Yeah.
dude who owns the place is freaking nice. I like the guy.
Can we just leave Washington and Oregon? Because I mean, there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings out there, and I still want to catch that guy.
Hey,
man, we're
hey,
We're
quit
really
talking about our
jumping into
cousins.
conspiracy theory.
yeah.
Not just Power Rangers.
Yes.
The whole,
Yeah, we're
the
getting
whole
into
lot.
crazy stuff.
Plot
Well,
twist.
to be fair, Yeti's our cousin, and that dude sold out to Hollywood so fast. We're like, dude, come on, man,
Come on.
selling out like that. And then he did that damn movie with what's his face, Harry and the Hendersons. He's like, I'm gonna do Harry and the Hendersons. I'm like, "Bleh, bleh, 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 bleh."
Oh my god. So, as we went way far left field on that one,
No, this is completely fine. It all
Completely
tracks
fine.
back together with
as
conspiracies.
what we
It's
do on
fine.
most of our episodes. So-
hey, most of our episodes we're good till we hit brownies, and then we hit
Yes.
brownies, it's just off the rails.
so
Oh.
yeah. So Casey, how did you come up with these conspiracies? Did you were rewatching the seasons and just they hit you and
Yeah, actually, I kind of lucked out because my son is 2 years old, a little older than that now, but when he was born, I was working a road job, and we just kind of determined that with the price of childcare and everything and how much I was traveling and working, it just didn't make sense for me to be on the road when I could be home basically covering the cost of childcare. So since when they're newborn, they don't do anything. So I was like, well, I'm watching Power Rangers from front to end. Of course, that's what I'm doing. So I spent,
You're
basically,
not sleeping anyways, so you're good.
yeah. So I watched, basically a year and a half straight, just watching every season of Power Rangers. And that was actually like a really good refresher because I saw so many episodes. Like, I think I'd seen pretty much everything, but every once in a while I'd see an episode that I'm like, oh, I don't really recall that. So that was helpful. But I watched the very first video I did was Mystic Knights of Tyrann Nog being connected to Mystic Force. And I watched Mystic Knights on YouTube. It's not streaming anywhere, but there's like some
There's
bootleg.
some clips.
Yeah, there's like bootleg episodes everywhere that you can watch. And I watched that, and it ends, of course, on like a cliffhanger because they were going to do a season 2.
Yeah.
And so anytime there's a show like that Saban made, I'm like, this is perfect because it could tie into something else,
Yeah.
And there was just so many similarities to it that I thought, oh man, it's like it would link up so perfectly with Mystic Force. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to always thinking of new ones is like difficult, but sometimes I just get down a rabbit hole. And as you guys know, there's so much to Power Rangers being almost 30 years old that it's like, it's endless the amount of research you can find yourself doing on
It's
these
like that
ideas.
joke from South Park. Simpsons did it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Power
there's-
Rangers did it.
Yeah.
Power Rangers already did it.
So the most of your conspiracies though are based off of American adaptations, or do you go into the Super Sentai as well?
I never really got into Sentai. Just because I didn't have it really available when I was younger. And honestly, most of the time when I'm watching stuff now, I'm working at the same time. So I'll have it going off on like another screen and kind of checking back and forth. So anything that's like I have to read subtitles is just not really an option, right? While I'm working.
You're here to work, not to read.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, but I mean, so most of it's just based on like plot holes in the storylines, because
There's a lot of those.
yeah, and there's a lot because at the very beginning it was so thrown together. It was like they just had there's so like the power eggs is a good one. Like the first couple episodes, they had the power eggs that were this unbelievable power that the villains were trying to get a hold of, and then they threw them into the ocean. and that was the last you ever heard of him. And it was like never again brought up.
Like the Morphing Masters were a throwaway line. That's what that
Yes.
was, a throwaway line. And now we have Morphing Masters in the
Yes.
comics and the show.
Which is awesome that they're almost finding this mess that like a child made, and they're like, all right, let's make an art piece out of this and try to like mold it into something usable.
Yeah.
And that's why like the Forever Red episode having the Beetleborgs in it was obviously a just prop department goes, oh, these are cool suits, let's use these, and they're
Like,
free.
these are ever going to be used again.
And people keep commenting on that video that that's what happened. I'm like, yeah, I know, I say that in the video, but it's like that, you know, there's a big plot hole there. Why are there Beetleborg suits? And then Beetleborgs leaves off on a cliffhanger, so it's like we can connect it if we just explain how it happened, you know.
My biggest issue is why are they riding horses? Why? In space horses. Why are they riding horses?
On the moon.
Like,
on the moon.
Yeah, on the moon. Yeah, like, why are they riding horses? They're robots. Why are they riding horses?
I don't know.
That's my biggest issue with the whole episode.
Because unless they're fighting, they walk like...
Yeah, they walk like robots. So, how can they ride horses?
But then when they're in combat, they're like jumping, doing flips, and like... Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
He went from being robots to being karate masters.
Maybe they have a different gear ratio for fighting.
Yeah.
Do they shift into turbo?
Oh, God. Jesus.
We're done. All right, guys. That was episode 10 minutes in. See you guys next week.
That was bad. And I had bad puns.
That was wonderful. That was wonderful. I loved it.
We could put on a plaque and put on his gravestone. Tombstone.
It's like the one that they're gonna find next to me tomorrow once you come and find me.
Yeah. It's gonna be as the witty one-liner that they used to kill somebody. Like he shifted into turbo.
That's what she said.
All right. But as we
You're not 5, I swear.
I guess let's hear a couple. What you got? We were just talking about the whole Zordon one before we started recording.
Oh yeah. So I really do think that Zordon is essentially evil in some way, in the respect that he is a narcissist who, in his mind, he's like, I'm trying to make the universe a better place. I'm trying to get rid of all these evil people, but at the same time, I want to have control of everything as much as possible. Is how I view it. Because again, I mean, what most people bring up is that he doesn't tell the Rangers anything. It's like, oh yeah, this is how you actually use your weapons after you've been using them for 8 episodes. It's like he doesn't tell them the potential of what they can do or what they have. And so he's always stringing them along, only giving them enough information when he needs it. And then the idea of why did he take teenagers and not adults? Because he can manipulate teenagers better than adults.
Emotionally, you can manipulate teenagers like out the wazoo.
Yeah, it's really because and especially, I mean, when you think about in the real world, anybody wants to be a hero and do the right thing. So telling him that, you know, you're going to protect the universe is like, of course they're going to do it. Like, who wouldn't? But then, so the theory that really I've seen, or that I've kind of thought through after sort of those basic steps, is that when they obtain the Zeo powers, right before that, they get turned into children and they can't morph at that time. So that's like a concern that, okay, he has this army of warriors, but if someone casts a spell and changes them into kids, they're going to be useless to me.
Wait. I have something to add to this. So the original power set were given to teenagers. They need the hormone imbalances for teenagers, but activate the powers properly.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
I got you.
So like they were originally given to teenagers because you have hormone imbalances as a teenager because you're always angry and, you know, just going through phases. You need that to activate the powers. There has to be something missing for it to activate the powers properly. Because then, you know, when they become rangers, they're a little bit more centered and everything else.
Right.
I say this with a very large grain of salt for teenagers.
Yeah. Now, the question I got is, they skip school to do all these missions and all this stuff.
Right.
How do the parents not know? Like, the school would be contacting them, you know?
Yeah, of course. Well, and not to go too far off, but what I love about the new seasons of Power Rangers, Beast Morphers and Dino Fury, do you notice how like all their parents are like they're characters in the show now?
I know, it's been great.
Oh, okay.
Because we're all like 30 years old or older, you know, or whatever. I have a kid, and it's like the parents are becoming important all of a sudden in the storylines.
Yeah, because they didn't really care in MMPR.
No, never.
They're like, oh, we have children?
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
They're
I
not
know,
in
and
school?
yeah, and it makes no sense. And like the whole like who was you know, crap, what was it? One of the Kimberly, when like her parents leave and then Aisha's family's like, you can live with us. I'm like, what?
Yeah, like,
It's not gonna happen. Like forever. She's gonna live with you guys forever. Just
oh yeah.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Like, no, like you not getting CPS involved or anything like that. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Totally makes sense.
Yeah. It's her parents she's going with her parents in real world. But
yeah.
anyway, but yeah, I don't know. It's like, yeah, they don't mention that, of course, but maybe their parents were just really uninterested parents in their kids' lives. And that's why they're always at the juice bar, because no one's at home.
Or he's cool, and like he's like a father figure to him.
Yeah. Or he's Zordon.
Don't you excited that up, huh? Like, hold up. Hold up.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. But yeah, so the whole idea of like, okay, they get the Zeo powers, most powerful powers on the face of the planet, you know.
Yeah.
But the only issue is that those powers still can't turn children into soldiers. So that's why we had to get these random vehicle powers, the turbo powers, because that's the only time they've been able to break through and have the morphing grid turn a child into a grown adult ranger.
I feel like at that point they could move the pedals up in the car so they could reach Jessica reach them. She's really short.
Well,
up to that point, they didn't have the safety standards to be able to move the pedals up.
Exactly, and that's why he had to morph so he can reach the pedals.
Well, he was driving the truck on morph in the movie, so they had to move the. So up to that point, they didn't have universal standards.
Wait, when he was a kid driving in Mountain Blaster, the Jeep drove itself.
Yeah, it has Smock Pock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
tonight.
So the whole idea for Zordon being evil is that it's like, okay, now he's achieved what he needs, is that he can get teenagers, but now he can also take children and turn them into his warriors and can basically control anyone.
Because even up to then, when they went in the past and they had the Wild West Rangers, they were teenagers and young adults,
right?
And even in the comics, you can read the comics, like 1960, 69 comic. They're still adults, teenagers, right? Like they're young adults, teenagers. This tracks.
Yeah. So like, as much as some people in the fandom hate Justin, it's like he could be a really important point.
Zordon.
Yeah,
because even after that, you had In Space in the Lost Galaxy, but you had later on with Ninja Storm, they were getting younger. You know, they weren't kids, but they were training younger people because it's an academy. They're getting younger kids.
Right.
This could have overreaching issues later down the line.
Right. Which, I mean, we haven't had a child ranger since Turbo, right?
Kind of. You had Mag the Defender's kid, but he was a ghost
yeah.
kid.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
I wouldn't consider him a ranger, though.
Yeah. But so then the whole idea of Justin being this ranger, and then Zordon goes, all right, we're good here. I got everything covered. I'm going to leave Demetria here to like manage my, I'm going to go regional management now. And I'm going to go off into the universe and find more rangers and build an army. And then the original rangers go, you know what? We're good with this. We're going to pass the torch. And Zordon's like, what? I don't know who these people are. This TJ guy, Cassie, all these people, I don't know who they are. So then
Tommy once, I don't trust this guy, not one bit.
Yeah, come on. And so the Zordon, since he doesn't know who these people are, they're not just going to blindly follow his orders now. The idea is that that's why he created the Robot Rangers, because Zordon fully knows that two people morphed into the same or connected to the morphing grid through the same power is going to destroy themselves eventually if they don't one doesn't get torn off.
I don't even think you need to be like morphed. I think you just need to have two morphers active at the same time, so they just have to be connected on.
Yeah,
to start doing that kind of issue, because you had who was it? Kendricks and
and Corone.
Corone. They say.
Yeah,
Had them have the same morph at the same time, even though like one was dead, but she wasn't that great as a ranger. Like Shronwick wasn't that great of a ranger as a Pink Ranger. It was kind of meh. He wasn't really all that great in Lost Galaxy, right? Like she's just kind of a stand-in. He was doing all that amazingly well.
That actually leads to a good point later on down the line with the legendary war, too.
Because they all kind of, how can you not take out foot soldiers?
Well, not only that is how can you have like one person that played multiple characters have all of them there at one time?
Well, that I think some people have tried to justify that with the Master Morpher, that Tommy could have morphed, because I mean you don't see the White Ranger I think in the Legendary War.
No,
I think
you don't see him, but you see the green. You see green, and you see
you see Red Zeo in the background,
and you see Black Dino Thunder.
Oh, do you?
Point, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because the idea I would have to think is that because of course there's the evil Green Tommy, the clone, who was in the past, but with all the different Rangers and all the time, all the different eras they were in, time travel had to be involved in them being at the Legendary War. So the idea of Tommy, like the Green Tommy who comes up front, that being Tom Oliver, the clone, and then the real Tommy is like using the Master Morpher, doing Zeo Red and I guess
the
Dino
only
Black.
one I can think of is you have the Dino Black could be the robot, because there's an evil robot in Ninja Steel, who is a Black Dino Ranger. He has that power, so it could have been him gone evil.
This one actually says Tommy is actually a clone when he comes back in Ninja Steel.
There is the theory. I've also heard the theory that he's the clone is the Dr. Oliver in Dino Thunder, because I mean some people are trying to say him and Elsa are like have a thing, which never really.
It was kind of cute. I'm like, oh, that's cute. Okay, but it never really took off anywhere. But like the wordplay was great.
Yeah. Which then
gold.
Yeah. But then, because Catherine was, he's married to Catherine and they have a kid together. So it's like, everybody's like, well, where is she during that? So some people believe that was Tom Oliver instead.
You know how he was able to use the Zeo powers, right? In the Master Morpher?
With the crystal being the...
Yeah, it was infused. He infused it in Master Morpher.
Well, people think it was actually Billy who made the Master Morpher.
I kind of believe that too.
I would believe that.
Yeah. To be fair, Billy is like the one who's not this Billy, but like the Billy from the show.
Yeah.
Not the one over here. The Billy from the show. Like, yeah, keep going. Like he did everything. Like he had all the inventions. Like everything was set up proper with him. And when he left, I think like when he left into Zeo he left, or end of MMPR he left. Things got kind of weird when he was leaving after Zeo, because like you left the end of Zeo, and then you got the turbo powers, and the turbo powers sucked at the end because it was all kind of falling apart because they didn't have Billy sitting there fixing everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It was all kind of falling apart.
And their alpha was like talking like a Brooklyn. What was
Oh man,
how much help was that? Like, yo.
Then what's
she ain't fixing nothing.
What's her face talks to damn questions all day long? What's going on there?
Yeah.
Like she ain't gonna fix anything either.
No, they had a horrible team. Team.
And
not to mention Zordon sabotaging them with the
Zordon pieces out,
powers.
Pieces out and takes her power and stuff. And then, like, you feel bad for TJ because he got the leader role and he just got screwed on the whole thing. You're like, damn it.
Yeah.
And I just wish,
he's a great Blue Ranger later.
Wish David Yost would just come out at, like, a Comic-Con and just, like, say, I was supposed to be the Phantom Ranger.
Yeah.
That would
That'd
put
be
a
kinda
lot
fun.
to rest.
Have the comics aren't the comics supposed to reveal his identity?
Nope.
Never.
Oh, they're not? I
Yeah.
thought they were going to.
They have the Power Rangers Limited Phantom Ranger comic where he actually goes and saves Astronema,
Mhm.
which is kind
Okay.
of fun. Like they're connected.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's where we'll leave that part at, and they don't actually reveal any identity at all.
That's you know what though? I
It's
think
just
you
really
have to do
frustrating.
that.
You're like, okay,
Have you guys seen the movie V for Vendetta?
Yes.
yes.
That whole movie, I'm like, okay, come on, reveal it. Who is he? Who is he? Who is he? Who is he?
Show me
And
your
then at the
ugly
very end,
face.
at the end, you're just like, this is the way it should be. Yeah, yeah, this is it. Yeah, they're smart. It's good they did that. Even though the whole movie, I was like ticked. Like, just tell us who he is. Tell us who he is.
Yeah.
And
I
I think
wanna-
it's the same. I think the Phantom Ranger needs to be like, I think he needs to be a mystery forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Well,
that's what
at
makes
least
him
not
so great.
confirmed. Like he was like, okay, like he just shows up and gives people a bunch of stuff and leaves, and that was
Yeah.
really about it. And then he comes
Yeah.
back and gets trapped, and they take away his crystal.
Yeah,
Like he wasn't that great to begin with.
Hey, he flirts with Cassie a little bit. You
Yeah,
know,
you know.
It's- well,
But I think that's going to be one conspiracy that's probably never be answered. But everybody wants Billy to be it.
yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with it, it not being revealed. I don't know. There's a part of me that just feels like it's good that way, and
Yeah. Like-
maybe make little things that make it look like Billy might be. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
And like be like it could be or it could not be. We don't really hear from Billy anymore anyway, so
Right.
whatever, it's all cool. And like be like, hey guys, it's all good.
I really wish they would just commit a few seasons to saying like we're going to do a season based on Aquitar. And
Oh, yeah.
Billy's going to like help the next generation of alien
Yeah.
alien rangers.
Billy,
I would
again,
love that.
Billy could
I
be
would like them
the
to do that and then
alpha
not
of
do that voice filter thing again because that was hard to listen to.
Oh yeah, well yeah, maybe not a whole season of that, but
Like a couple
would-
episodes.
Yeah.
A couple.
yeah,
Like I want it. You ever heard of Project Scorpion or Project Scorpio?
no. Well,
So it was
think so.
supposed to be for Dino Thunder. Okay, Dino Thunder season was supposed to be the last season for Power Rangers through Saban, and so the Disney picked it up, went to the Dino Thunder, and so what it was supposed to be was Tommy was supposed to take lead of one team, and then Billy was supposed to take
are
lead
you-
of another team.
is this Hexagon the same? Is it
Hexagon,
the
yeah.
same thing as Hexagon?
Yeah.
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah. I
similar
know
to
this.
Hexagon. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was originally called Project Scorpio,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
and they changed it to Hexagon. I don't know who came up with that, but I remember it was originally called Scorpio. And so
Yeah.
that was, and they were supposed to have Billy, and then the Phantom Ranger. They're supposed to bring back old cast members and stuff.
Yes.
and like fight against
They
each
were-
other.
And they were going to choose sides as
Yeah.
to who they were on, which would have been like the Civil War, like Captain
Oh.
America's Civil War. It would have been that before
No.
Captain America. It would have been amazing because it would have been like Rocky coming back and being like, "Screw you, Tommy. I'm with these guys," or whatever. And then like other people jumping in, being like, "It would have been amazing."
Rocky would show up and like, hey, screw you guys, I'm going to go hang out over there. I was like, leave, Rocky. No one cares.
Yeah.
Like,
Come
no,
on.
Rocky. No one gives a damn.
Steve. when I saw Steve Cardenas in the Ninja Steel anniversary
Oh,
episode, I'm just
yeah.
like, yeah,
Uh.
Steve, good for you, man. Bring
Good
it
on you,
back,
man.
dude. Good for you.
Oh man, that's great.
But yeah,
Like, oh, Steve, thanks for coming back. I know you need the paycheck.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really wish they would do with all the Netflix stuff. I wish because they've talked about. I mean, I think it's confirmed maybe that they're doing some sort of animated series,
Yeah.
or at least
It's
they're
not
really
confirmed
working.
yet, but they're doing their own Netflix-esque universe
Yeah,
right now. Like the
Yeah.
showrunner's gonna get. The showrunner's gonna have not complete creative control, but he's gonna have a lot of control over the series
Yes.
here on
Yeah.
out once it hits Netflix.
yeah.
So next season onwards, he's gonna have a lot of control.
Well,
So we'll see kind of where it goes.
They just
Mhm.
released
They do want to do an animated series at some point. It might be an animated movie.
yes. That'd be cool.
And at first, I was kind of like, "Oh, you can't do that." But the more, I don't know, the more I've seen what like Disney Plus has done with Marvel and all this stuff,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, you know what? Or in Star Wars, it's like, you know what? Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it, and let's
Like,
bring
what-
back as many people as we can,
Did you?
because all they have to do is record at home. If they have a
Yeah.
good mic, like they can record their lines at home.
Like all you need to do is plan this stuff out. Please plan it out. Please.
Yeah.
Please don't
So-
just make one movie and then go from there. No, plan it out. Plan
Did
out
y'all
six
see
things.
someone leaked a script for a 30th season for Power Rangers?
No,
I thought it was a
I haven't
casting
seen it.
call.
It was a casting call, but it's gonna be for 6 weeks only. So they're thinking it's gonna be like a farewell, like maybe a farewell 22 episode, and they're gonna have like every OG come back or something like that.
Ooh.
Why would they do a casting call for it?
Well, they're gonna have a casting for original somebody. I don't know, but it's interesting to
Yeah.
see. Here
I
it is.
really hope they don't do that that weird like Zord-esque series from like the Sentai. They don't pull that over. That'd be weird.
Yeah, but like the
it
Netflix
was
series
really
though, like
funky.
you're saying, I'm really looking forward to it because I've seen what Netflix puts out and I absolutely love it.
Mhm.
Some of the stuff
Yeah.
Netflix puts out's really, really amazing. Some of the stuff that puts out, you're like,
What is this?
I really hope they take the opportunity to use Power Rangers as their Marvel. I really hope they
I
do it
really
because
hope to do that. Yeah.
because I mean, like I really like Umbrella Academy, and I
Oh,
like
man.
it's
They
great.
nailed it with that. Yeah.
It's really dark,
Yes.
and they need
Funny.
something that's like family friendly at the same time as being really like
Yeah.
action packed, and I think it has that potential. And they can also they can market some shows for like little kids too. Like
Yeah.
my son there's a show on Disney Plus that's the Spidey and the Amazing Friends.
Oh yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
He is obsessed with that show, and I every time I watch that, I think, God, they could totally do this with Power Rangers. They could
Oh, yeah.
totally do like some little kids show. I like one of the things that popped in my head was if they did a dinosaur zoo just based around the Dino Charge
Oh, yeah.
universe,
Yeah.
and like do it like a kids show where they're like, today we're talking about the T-Rex, wow, and like show the T-Rex and like
Technically, it was its own universe. They could totally do something like that.
yeah, and then they could have guest appearances from other Rangers and just it be animated and fun
Oh, yeah.
and silly for kids. And that would be something to where like my son would be like, "Oh my gosh, Power Rangers is so cool." And then when he gets old enough, it's like, "Well, we're going to watch the real Power Rangers." And like,
Like you saw that couple
know?
seasons of that really cute, adorable dinosaur stuff. Now we're gonna watch
Yeah.
explosions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they just if they have the brand, it's like they could do so much with it. And I hope they don't just I don't know. I hope they do
Fingers
it well.
crossed, praying to
Yeah.
whatever gods you have. Don't screw this up. Don't
Yeah,
screw this
we've hung in there for a long time as Power Ranger fans, man.
We know Operation like we used to think Operation Overdrive was bad. Now it's just mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's because
I'm one of those people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the stuff, it's like you have to kind of watch it over a few times.
Yeah.
Like I'm a lot of people crap on Monty and Victor from Ninja Steel, and they're not the best comic relief in the world, but when I watch it with my son, who's 2, he laughs, and I'm like, all right, that's their job, their job is
that was their target audience for basically.
Yeah,
Like,
I
give
mean,
them the giggle. All right.
we're not the target audience, so it's like, all right, well, you have to kind of
That's
give them a break,
honestly, that's why I'm liking Dino Fury a lot because we're kind of the target audience for it. It's not really for us.
Right.
A lot of hints for us.
I mean,
We're
for
like,
God's
oh,
sakes, he has a Mr. Freeze moment where he has a
Oh, yeah.
frozen wife.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
like they brought back Zed. They did that for us old fans, and the new fans like, who is this guy?
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
great. And so, like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff for us, but it's still made for kids. It's still made for the audience of kids and toys. But for
Right.
us adults, it's like watching a Disney movie, not Disney, but like a Pixar movie now as an adult.
Yeah.
You're like, what? You're like,
Yeah.
hold up, that was dirty.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, they're doing a good job at keeping like it good enough for the original fans, but also good for kids as well. And so I don't know, I always watch it, and whenever I see a good like comedic moment that I know is funny to a kid, I'm like, I'm not necessarily laughing out loud, but I'm like, all right, they're doing a good job. They're doing a good job.
I think they got Slither for Dino Fury. They got Slither to do all those horrible puns.
Oh yeah.
because the kids aren't gonna get it. The kids aren't gonna get any of the puns at all. But for us, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's great.
I had to rewind a couple times. Like, what did he say?
Dude,
Is he making pirate jokes?
so the guy who voices Slither is oh gosh, my brain's gonna go.
He's put a lot of work in. He's
He
been doing
does-
a lot of stuff.
Dude, he's amazing. He gosh sorry, Campbell Cooley is his name.
Mhm.
And he's done voices for Power Rangers for like the last 10 seasons or something.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
He's been putting work in. He's like the
Yeah.
guy who plays
He did
Mick.
Scrozzle and Mitt. What?
Yeah. the guy who plays
Oh,
Mick. Yeah.
No, that well, that's Kelson
yeah, but
Henderson.
he's put work in too.
Yeah.
He was the Yeti back. He was
Yes.
the Yeti
Yeah.
in freaking Operation Overdrive. He
He
was
was-
doing stuff back then.
He was Phineas
Yes.
in
Mhm.
he's with the all the prosthetics and stuff.
so-
He's
He's
The-
been putting work in.
yeah.
I never caught it until like after
Mm.
Ninja Steel, but him playing Mick and the guy's name was Mechanic, and I was like, never thought about it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, Mechanic. Like,
Yeah.
It's,
It's
like,
great.
I am how old? How did I miss this?
yeah, how did I
He's-
miss this?
He's dude, he's like he's one of those people that so many people only think about the people who played Rangers, but it's like, dude, that guy's been on the show forever.
Yeah,
And
and-
he's
Any
a
Weekend
legend.
Ranger too on there.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
He
he
finally
was
became
one
a
of the
ranger
3
too.
Red
Yeah.
Rangers.
Yeah. Which they need to let him do that again. They need to let him morph into a
Like,
ranger
when
again.
When he came onto Dino Fury, I thought he was gonna morph into the one of the Red
They
Rangers.
should have done
They
that.
should have let him.
They should've.
It would have been great. Be like, oh yeah, no, he's doing great because. Like back in SPD, that's like his character's like one dream was to be a ranger, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
he wants to be a ranger. Then the orange SPD ranger,
Yeah.
that was great.
Dude,
And like,
it's
he
so
was
good.
a ranger, and I'm like, this is great. And now then he comes back at Dino Fury. I'm like, you get like 5 sentences. It's all you. Damn it,
That's it.
leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to have him.
Like,
Yeah,
you
they need
guys-
to have him come back and morph and like
I was like, guys, you did him dirty. Get him real dirty, guys.
yeah. But the guy who does Slither, he also did Scrozzle in
Yeah.
Beast Morphers.
Mhm.
I watched Beast Morphers a couple times and like never thought much about Slither. So he has a video on YouTube, him, the guy, the voice actor, talking about Scrozzle, and he's like, "Where's Scrozzle from? I don't know. He was staying refuge in this dimension. Why? Who was he staying refuge? Why was he there? And then, oh, he was hiding out in Corinth. How did he know how to get to the universe of RPM? Isn't that interesting?" And it's like, holy crap!
Wait a minute. Okay.
What?
Hold on.
And it's like, yeah, but the thing is, he's now, let's see, the ending was they caught him and he's at Grid Battle Force, and it's like, dude, I'm thinking they're gonna like maybe do more with Scrozzle, which I never thought about until I saw that video. I'm like, holy crap, that's a good point.
Well, they are pulling seasons back together. Like they're literally like, I don't like maybe because Dino Fury has been going real deep cuts on a lot of things. So maybe
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
yeah.
maybe they could do it. And like look at the end of Beast Morphers. They had Venjix back. They had Venjix back.
Yeah, Vincex
Yeah, they
and
put
Dr.
that-
K. Oh my gosh.
I love
was-
that. Dr. K showed back. I was like, Dr. K. Yes.
I was literally, I'm watching with my son who, is a little kid, and I'm going, Dr. K, Dr.
And-
K.
He-
Literally.
he's like, Daddy, what are you doing? What's wrong?
he's
Hey,
like-
Daddy,
he's
are you
like-
okay?
Yeah, it's looking at me like I'm nuts, and I'm just so it's like, and I just Liv Tennant, the actress who plays her, she's awesome. She's an amazing actress and does so many good things, and I'm just like so happy that she's on the show.
Yeah.
So
Like they were
it's
talking
awesome
about.
they're doing that.
They were talking about they were having a discussion or something like what's a good Power Ranger theory that we could talk about or discuss next, and I put in the comments as like, hey, let's talk about RPM and how they mass genocide of the human race, and they're having to live inside of a bubble.
Oh yeah. And then
Yeah,
yeah, a little dark.
Kidnapping
and then, the Rangers
making
uh,
robots.
and then
yeah,
But no,
the Rangers who sign up the Rangers
Yeah.
essentially sign away their lives to Dr. K because you can't give that power up right away.
Yeah.
yeah.
It can't be transferred to anyone else. You're stuck
Yeah.
with it.
But nobody
And,
wants
like-
to talk on my idea. They want to talk about JDF and how he portrays the best.
the worst Ranger
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, shoot.
Oh no!
No,
welcome to- come on down.
Come on
We'll
down.
introduce you to Sam and Sam.
I was just joking. Yeah, it's I do the RPM thing. Do you believe that SPD is the in the same universe? Like Have you heard that theory?
No,
I've heard that theory. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
go
with
on,
the
I
same
haven't heard
universe.
that one.
RPM's a couple years later, right?
Yeah, because since SPD was set in like 2025, and RPM, I mean, if you just look at it as when it aired, it's like 2010. So
Yeah.
in that universe, like that gives enough time that hey, this planet is very underpopulated. Who like all these aliens can come, like
Yeah.
because they need refuge.
Oh crap!
So it's like that's
And then-
why the planet's so well diverse with aliens and humans.
And then if you look, if you actually watch SPD, you'll notice that there's a lot more aliens than humans too.
Yeah, there's a ton of
So
aliens.
what you're saying is, after RPM, they repopulated the Earth with aliens.
Yeah,
Well,
like
they had
people
to be
from all over the universe came
Oh,
there.
That's cool.
Human-like
And-
people, alien-like people, like
Mhm.
extra weird ones. You know,
they all
they
got
had
Yeah.
Dr.
special
K.
abilities.
So, but the only thing about that is they have the Time Force and everything as well.
Right.
So, like, was it similar timelines?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a video talking about this, and my theory is essentially is essentially that when all this happened, so SPD is they're already established like off in the universe, like they're already around because they started on Sirius, and so
Yeah.
they're over there, but Earth has always been protected by Power Rangers, so it's like we don't need to start a branch there because they have their own force. We don't need to do anything
Yeah.
about that,
Mm.
and so when the Earth was basically overrun, destroyed. And I also believe that Dr. K created the overdrive powers. I'll have to explain that another time. But so when it was like they finally beat Vengex, everything was like, okay, we can start repopulating the world. I think Time Force said, well, we're going to come and help you, like, get things back in order, so that, and it basically broke off into a different dimension when they did this.
Divergent timeline.
So yeah, so they gave them like some stuff like, here we can help you sort of get your bearings, and that's why there's the Time Force Red Ranger for Sky's father.
Mhm.
So like they basically just gave them like some copies of powers because it's like, you're a different universe, it won't matter. And then SPD came.
Like at this point, you're so
Yeah.
far diverged, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, so then SPD comes because it's like, hey, we need help, So SPD comes and just goes, okay, we're going to organize this, and they just figure out how to organize it. And then I also think that maybe like Time Force used it, like they could have potentially used that dimension as like monsters who need like
Rehabilitation.
rehabilitation, or just like witness protection. Like,
Ooh.
we'll just send you a different universe and you're good to go.
Yeah.
No, one question I would have would be: doesn't the Time Force uniform in SPD, doesn't he have an SPD logo on him?
Yeah, but I mean, it's
And-
just like, it's just added. It's not like it's not
Oh,
like it changes the whole uniform. It's just basically like they added some
Yeah.
print onto it.
yeah.
What-
So I think,
There was always a
I'm
theory about
telling you,
the Time Force. Like, did Time Force intentionally branch off different lines to protect the other line?
right.
And
I mean,
did they do Illuminati stuff where they would destroy other universes? Did they?
I don't think they
Might have.
destroyed any, but I believe they branched off.
and maybe it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
That's what I wonder. Is maybe they're like, well, we need to help these people, and then all of a sudden, like, created this total difference in.
Well, if you read the comics, there's a Time Force comic by itself.
Yes. Yeah.
Where they have a point in time that's completely removed from time, where they can mess
Yes.
around and not do anything with. Where I think that they could be like, we're gonna plan out our attack, and if we need to break off time, because it has all the stuff to watch time there anyways. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure they could just break off time pieces and break them up, and they'll go, oh hey, this piece here doesn't belong here. And we can
Right.
break it, and we can make a whole universe,
Yeah.
and then we have a separate universe we can use. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the same thing they would have done at that point with Dino Charge. Like, hey, you guys are gonna break the timeline.
Yeah.
But we can't just kill off an entire universe. You've already diverged far enough where you're no longer in the same timeline itself. Just broke it.
Speaking of Dino Charge, when they play back the history of Power Rangers with Tommy Oliver, they show the asteroid that hits the Earth, right? Well, that asteroid actually, they say, created the
Dino gems.
Dino Gems.
They're-
So that
Well,
Right.
it could also create the Zeo Crystal
it could
too.
have done that too. But
So if you're looking into it, there's a whole nother universe with a humongous Zeo Crystal planet-sized Zeo Crystal in it.
yeah,
Oh yeah, no. Spoilers right now. The coinless, not the coinless, the Beyond the Grid storyline, where they have a bunch of rangers that are misplaced because of the Shattered Grid thing. They basically get misplaced because of that, and so they're stuck in a place where their powers are like waning and like there's no way to recharge their powers to the power grid. There's no power grid there. They can't figure out why, and they finally find a Zeo crystal the size of a planet.
Ooh.
And so you know how powerful the Zeo crystal by itself is.
Yes.
It's like
So it's
100
like a-
nuclear bombs sitting next to each other, like right there in this universe. They're like, and Aisha's even sitting there. She's Tanya at this point. She's like, so this like my crystal is powerful. And it's like the size of a dime, and it could I could beat up giant robots by myself. This is the size of a planet. This is wrong. This is very wrong.
Yeah.
It's
That's
so,
awesome.
Like, the universe got cut off from the rest of the universes and stuff, and because that's there, they couldn't move it.
Right.
So,
that's awesome, though.
Yeah, no, the comics get crazy. By the way, oh my
I know,
god,
I know, and I would love to follow them. I really would like to. I just
they get,
it's hard to keep up with.
A little bananas, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So, hit up the Comic Historian on YouTube.
That's what I use.
Hit them up.
Yeah,
they have a lot of the comics already. Like, just read it out. So they're up to Beyond the Grid. So they cover Beyond the Grid. So you can catch up to there. I don't know how far further they've gone since that, because there's Necessary Evil after that, and that Necessary Evil was great. Oh my god, Rita. So Rita makes a putty of herself, or Zed makes the putty of Rita, who becomes an evil Red Ranger.
Oh yeah. I've seen some stuff about that, but yeah,
that was cool. And there's a lot of cool stuff. Like Finster becomes a Pink Ranger.
Oh yeah, because those are his like evil Rangers. Yeah,
that was actually really cool.
Finster
that was a cool
also
concept.
is a part of Alpha in the Soul of the Dragon.
Right. Yeah. Finster. Yeah.
Well, that was also in the Draken storyline too.
Yeah.
That
Finster
was Draken's 5. Finster 5. So yeah.
So I just saw this one. This was a pretty good one right here. So in the movie, the Turbo movie, Diva tries to marry Malagor.
Yeah.
So the theory is Malagor is actually a twin of Dark Spectre in the Turbo in the In Space season.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
yeah.
It's the same
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
This is always the funny part whenever something like this comes up, because there's always going to be someone who's like, no, they were the same suit. It wasn't the same and it's like,
twins.
Who cares?
Oh, yeah, come on.
It works.
It's freaking Power Rangers, man. Calm down.
Yeah.
Like, the continuity of Power Rangers is all kinds of messed up. Hold on.
Yeah, I'd
It's
say go for it. Why
like,
not?
If it makes sense, roll with it. Like, if it makes sense, then if it gets confirmed later, even better. But for the most part, headcanon approved.
Yeah, I'd be totally cool with that. I think that would work out.
Yeah, I think so too.
Great.
How well it it links up together. Come on.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like Astronema was like the truest villain of all the villains.
I'm with you. Astronomer's like one of my favorite characters. In the whole
she
series.
was brainwashed and like hated every Ranger. Like, and then she created the Psycho Rangers, who just hated the Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah. And so everyone after her, everyone after her, you had the Bug, which didn't really care, just wanted to destroy Terra Venture, whatever. After that, you had the Demons. Then you had the Demons, or the Orcs. Then you had Lothar. No, you had Time Force. Time Force was not really a bad guy, but not really a bad guy. And then you had Ninja Storm, which had Lothar, and Lothar was great. I love that guy. He was funny.
I love that.
And then you had Dino Thunder, which wasn't really a bad guy. Bad guy, but not real bad guy. And everything after that, it's just like, the only other like evil person was SPD.
Grum. Yeah.
Grum. The only other like evil person is Grum, and like even he wasn't that evil. He was just the evil emperor. Well, not really evil. Didn't really hate everyone. He had a kid. He liked the kid.
Right.
for the most part.
Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Like for the most part, it stayed alive on the ship.
Yeah.
But
Some people say that he's like the most dangerous villain
I feel like he had the most
because,
resources.
well, the reasons I've heard people say he's the most, like, he should be the most feared is because he's somehow convinced a ranger team to turn and go against like the good guys.
The
Like
only way
some
I
like
can,
which that's kind of crazy. It's like they are dedicated, their whole life they train to become rangers, and then he's like, you know what you should do is kill everybody. And they're like, okay.
No question.
the
And
only
like,
thing I can,
Yeah.
okay, so I have a thought on that because it was
Oh, yeah.
Kruger who promoted them to A Squad, right?
yes,
And
yes.
he was still very recently away from his wife and away from his home world, right? So he was completely sad,
yeah.
couldn't think straight, promoted these people without actually thinking it all the way through. Because he's like, we need an A Squad, we need to have an A Squad here to protect Earth, so we don't have something that happens to my planet. So voila, he promoted some people who are fairly decent fighters, could handle themselves, and then B Squad rose to the ranks to become B Squad. He learned his
Right.
lesson when A Squad disappeared because I'm pretty sure he knew they went evil. I'm like 99% sure he knew they went evil.
Yeah.
Because he was
Right.
like, well, we need a better A Squad.
Yeah.
And so they tried
Do
to
you-
promote him on the A Squad, and they're like, no, we're good.
Do you think part of it, I actually like the idea of like he was very recently like lost his wife and
Yeah.
was probably in turmoil, that maybe he wasn't a great leader at the time of working with the A Squad,
Yeah.
and they were
That-
a little vindictive, like, this guy sucks, we don't like him.
Ah.
And
I-
I don't know, maybe I've never
because
thought about
even-
that till you
even-
said that.
Even up to that point, like even at the beginning of SPD, like even up to the beginning of that, he wasn't that great of a leader to begin. Like he even admitted his mistakes, which
Mhm.
is something that doesn't normally happen. Like, you have a leader
Right.
who's admitting his mistakes. Like look at everyone else. No one, not a whole lot of leaders like to admit their mistakes. Like the only other one that admitted their mistakes was the hamster. Only other one that did it. But up to that point, so he admitted his mistakes. So I'm pretty sure he was still like grieving at that point because like look how much of outlash he had when with Cat he
Yeah.
used her
Oh, yeah,
ranger powers. He was pissed
Yeah.
because that was the closest thing he had to a wife at that point because she was his best friend at that point, and
Yeah.
he couldn't lose her, and that's
Yeah.
why he went on that freaking rampage.
Yeah.
Rampage.
That's so good.
I think he was emotionally damaged. That's what I think. He was up to that point. Even after that, he was still emotionally damaged because he still made mistakes.
Not damaged. Distant.
Even after becoming the Shadow Ranger, he still made mistakes.
Right.
His emotions got the best of him. So I'm pretty sure he was still very recently wounded from that incident. And
And-
Grum was like, "I still have your wife. Same clothes that she was wearing when she was taken. I'm pretty sure it's pretty recent."
Yeah. They always wear the same
That was-
clothes.
yeah.
Thinking about it.
It's funny you say how like none of the mentors really ever say they're,
Like,
they're
like,
wrong.
Like,
I-
think about it. That really ever happens.
Yeah, I would love to see them being like, "Hey, Dimitri, you screwed this up." And she's like, "What is screwing up?" No, you screwed up. You totally failed us out there. Failure, isn't that within yourself? You're like, no,
Stop.
can't admit anything.
Only you could fail yourself.
That's
A load of BS. Yeah. Like Zordon never admitted he was like Zordon. I don't think Zordon ever admitted in the show he was wrong ever.
No,
Then you got in space with Andros. There was no real leader there. It was Andros who was emotionally damaged at that point too because they just got almost killed. Because that was
Yeah.
very recent too.
do you see? I feel like TJ was definitely the real leader of the space.
Oh, yeah.
Rangers.
Oh,
'Cause, I mean,
TJ
Andros-
was.
He was just there, like he's the space guy who knows everything about space, so
Yeah.
it's like great. But he wasn't a leader. Like he was usually like, "I'm gonna go do this by myself," and TJ's like, "Whoa, let's we got to
Yeah.
work as a team."
Andros and TJ became really good friends by the end of the series because TJ was he was like, "Hey, I was the leader beforehand. I know how to lead. We're gonna teach you how to lead." Because what happened to the rest of your squad? You have other morphers. You have you still have blue, pink, black, and yellow. What happened there?
Yeah, I don't want to pull this, but none of my members have died, so
I might have lost my base and my swords, but no one else is gone.
And not to mention, he has his friend in cryogenic sleep.
Yeah.
Wait. TJ could have pulled the gun. I had a kid on my team, and he lived.
Yeah. That kid could
The
barely
kid-
do anything.
Yeah.
The kid survived. I did good.
I'm actually rewatching In Space right now, and I just got to that episode where Zane comes out.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that was a great episode.
Wasn't that such an epic, like, I did a whole video again on like why In Space is one of the greatest seasons. If it's not the best, it's one of the greatest. Because dude, like, so my gosh, the whole Zane coming out, like, as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane, because that had never happened where it was like,
Hey, we've also never had a Silver Ranger at that point.
Yeah,
Never had that kind of color either. Bright
Yeah.
silver. What?
yeah, that whole season is so incredible. I mean,
my
just,
God, the writing was great. The
and-
action sequences were fantastic, except for the kid
Yeah.
on the Galaxy Glider. That was
Right.
weird. That was weird. The kid
Right.
was standing there like, I'm in space. You should be dead.
yeah,
yeah, you should be.
The one like drawback of the whole season was, and the other one was why they're in high school like the first 3 episodes.
And they threw that out. Like, you could
It's
tell they were
gone.
like, nah, that didn't work. We're
They're
not
like,
doing that
this
again.
is weird. No, and they threw it
Yeah.
out completely out of the window. Gone.
Which was smart, yeah.
But like, yeah, that whole season, like, majority of that season was really, really well done. They finished the Bulk Skull arc. Bulk Skull
Yeah.
podcasting.
yeah.
Promo. And they finished up that arc. They had when they found out who the Rangers were. They didn't care who the Rangers were. They're like, oh, cool, they're the Rangers. Awesome. We still got to help them. Plain and
Yeah.
simple. They grew so much.
Oh man.
They
Sure.
had the TJ. Like TJ became a true leader at that point.
Mhm.
All the Rangers grew up to that point, and it was beautiful. Beautiful.
It was
I loved
beautifully
it.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best season. I like.
Except for the crying scene, that was a little weird, but you
Yeah.
know, tears
Yeah.
of healing.
Yeah, and Christopher Kamen Lee craps on that moment all the time.
Oh yeah.
Which, I
It
mean,
makes
yeah,
total sense. Like it's the one weird part of the whole thing. I'm like, that great episode, weird moment.
yeah, it was weird,
Cool.
but you know,
You know what?
yeah.
The rest of the episode, whatever, man. I'll let that slide. It's just weird though.
Yeah.
It's
So-
just weird.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
Talking about alternate dimensions and stuff, because as we talk about with the Time Force, they could split branches off.
Right.
So if you think about it, the Mighty Morphin movie, was a split dimension because Ivan Ooze never made an appearance in the TV show.
Right.
I need him in an appearance on the TV. Like I want that dude to come back and pull back Ivan Ooze.
Yeah.
It would
The
be
time-
amazing.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
I-
The guy who played Ivan Ooze, I think, is still alive too, so he can totally come back and do it.
Oh yeah, he could.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it'd be great.
Now,
One
Do you have-
one-liners.
my kind of what I wish would happen, but the only issue is the name of Zordon. So the original pilot that they aired, that they eventually played, the lost episode in 1999 that had the Audrey Dubois who played Trini at the time.
Yeah.
I would love if they made that universe the movie universe,
That'd be kinda cool,
because at that point it had already switched. Trini, Jason, and Zach were gone.
Billy was the
so-
only one really still there. Billy and Kimberly were the only two that are still there.
Original,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it would I wish they would do. The only problem is that Zordon was named Zoltar
Oh,
in
yeah.
that version,
the
unless they changed it, like Zoltar was a different person, and then like he left and gave it to Zordon.
Because no, because Zordon's stuck in the tube. But in
Right.
this case, Zordon was a person. Like Zordon actually had a physical embodiment too.
Yeah,
So that could be a whole different thing. And in the comics and the show and everywhere else, Zordon was a disembodied head in a tube with no physical actual body. He was trapped between dimensions. So
right.
it could be that. Yeah, Zoltar could like have removed himself or died, and Zordon could have taken over because he had a physical body and he was dying, so he got in the tube. That could work. Yeah.
Again, like I know
That would
it
expand that, dude.
doesn't work completely, but it's like I wish that was just like I wish we could use that and say, yeah, the lost episode is that universe.
Yeah.
I wish.
You know,
But
we could make a big fuss about it on Twitter and see what
Yeah.
happens. Be like,
Probably get-
Twitter,
Oh.
please listen
Just-
to us.
Probably get pushed underneath the rug.
Hey, hey, that's what happens all the time. It's fine.
Yeah.
well, we need to know what happened to Mordant,
He's
the
a-
pig.
Yeah.
We need to know. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Doesn't anybody else want to know what happened to that guy?
As being
He's
30
a-
plus year old Power Ranger fans, I think it's owed to us.
Yeah.
If we've
Wouldn't
been
that
here for 30 plus years, you got to give us some information, something, a little bit.
What if like 10 years down the road they've already brought back like Zed, the Goldar Maximus, all those, they've gone through everybody, like we got no one left. They're like, you know what? We could bring back Mordant.
Yeah.
And all the
Like,
Power
we
Rangers are like,
got-
who the heck is this?
Yeah.
And then the one guy, like, it'll be like you, like, they're bringing back Morden.
Morden!
That was
Yeah.
like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
are you talking
But
about?
at that point, we'll be
I'm
screaming
begging
at the TV in our nursing home.
Yes.
like, nurse, take me away. I'm mad.
I'm mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go make poopy. Take me out of
Like,
here.
be like, are you upset? No.
Yeah.
I
So
feel better now.
there's another one I'm seeing here. It says the Samurai Rangers were an alternate dimension.
Yeah. I think that's basically just because RPM was the season before. So
Yeah.
they're like, some people view all those seasons as one universe, and then Samurai was just a new universe.
So the question
But
is,
I
how
don't know.
did RPM how did the RPM travel to that universe?
They took
Their
the train,
universe?
remember? It was an
Yeah.
interdimensional train.
They took the Amtrak.
Oh,
You know, the only train in America that apparently works.
the Amtrak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he shows up and he can't even, like, they can't, like, okay. So this also defeats the theory of, like, every new Ranger series, like, is stronger than the previous one. Because the Samurai Rangers couldn't do jack nearly squat to the Grinders at all.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Okay,
they
there's a theory of that
nothing to
though. So if you think about it, the samurai back in the ancient or back in time, the samurai were unable to fight against gunpowder and steel. Like,
But not like 2 episodes
Oh,
before.
yeah.
They
I'm
were
just
taking on
saying,
a
like,
magnet dude. They were kicking their
I'm just
butt.
saying in real life, in
Oh.
history, so that I feel like they played that in our history books into
No.
that.
No.
I mean-
BS, because 2 episodes before that movie happened, they were fighting a metal dude and they were slicing him up with their damn swords. So I'm pretty sure it's fine.
Well, I'm
Bold
calling
Lord.
BS on you. No.
I'm calling BS on you.
maybe maybe they were some special type of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they just weren't that great.
Yeah. I don't
Right.
know. Yeah, I don't think, definitely there are seasons that the Rangers are less powerful than seasons before them.
Yeah.
I think. I mean,
Clearly, Mystic Force got overpowered as all get out. They could, like, change the whole universe at one point.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
a genie. Come on.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah,
going to
they-
do with that?
they have like an endless amount of power if they just continue to learn and try to figure out more spells and stuff.
I
Yeah,
think
like,
that's the
you
one
just
season I did
cuss-
not watch was Mystic Knight.
Yeah, Mystic Force was a little
Mystic
bit
Force,
out
that's right.
there, but, like, it had some cool concepts, but it was
Yeah.
a little weird.
It-
But yeah, they had a limited power, like, as they
Yeah.
went, but they had to learn how to use it, so they wouldn't break the universe.
Right.
And they jumped to the end, like halfway to the season, they jumped to the end with the wish to end, like, all evil, and it just backfired entirely.
Nah.
Which
Right.
I thought that was really cool. That was a great concept that you can't just jump to the end of something. You have to get through it.
Right.
And then I jumped to the last episode. I'm like, I gotta see how it ended.
Yeah. See, and that's one of those seasons that I've watched it a couple times. It's good. I think it's got some cool characters and it's got a good
I think
storyline.
Xander was a great character, by the way. Xander was the Green Ranger. Xander,
Oh,
Xander?
yeah. He was. Oh, he's pretty classic. Yeah, he's awesome. And,
fantastic. Yeah.
but like, there's people. I have friends who have literally said that's their favorite season, but they kind of hit it at the right demographic time.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, I get it that it was just, and it's like, I mean, if someone's a fan of Harry Potter or at around that time period, a year or so after that season was when Wizards of Waverly Place came out. So it's like,
that's true,
if you're
yeah.
really into magic at that time, like it was the perfect season for you.
I mean, that's kind of when Harry Potter was kind of coming to an end too. Yeah. So
Yeah.
well, no, it was doing its re-revival because of the movies.
Yes.
That's what's happening because they ended the books and they do the re-revival of the movies. So yeah, that it all lined up really well for that demographic of kids, and it's not a bad season. Like it's
No,
not.
it's-
Like, it
it's
has
got
some
good
interesting
stuff in it.
concepts. It has some weird stuff too, and like I thought the Solaris Knight was a cool idea.
Oh, that was cool.
Oh yeah.
The
he was
Mystic White Ranger, like Adana's
Yeah.
powers, that was cool. Like it had a lot of cool concepts.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't super really well executed, but it was fun. As long as you can admit Nick was boring as all get out, we're fine.
I don't
so-
know. He wasn't like an amazing leader, but I mean,
Xander,
he did fine.
Xander
but
was a far better leader. Far
he-
better leader.
He probably would have been a better leader. But so the guy who played the Solaris Knight, John Tui,
Mm-hmm.
he also played Doggy Kruger.
Oh yes.
Yep.
And my favorite thing is you watch any panel. He has a couple panels he's been on.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, he is the best at talking or answering questions because every time they say like, who did you like more, Solaris Knight or Doggy Kruger? Which one? And he'll go on this big ramble about like, if when you have children, you don't have a child you love more. You love both of your children. And then he'll always end it with, and as we all know, once a ranger, and then the whole crowd goes, always a ranger. And then he just goes like, and it's like he got out of it. He didn't answer the question. And they're all like, everybody's like, it's so great. He does it every time too. He'll use that line like 6 times in a panel. It's great.
Didn't the guy who played Crumb was played by someone else?
Grum he's also the mentor in Samurai.
Yeah, that's who it
right.
was. Yeah. And didn't the guy who played Lothar play someone else as well?
Well, he was the voice of the hamster.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. It was the voice of the hamster and Lothar, which I thought was pretty
Yeah.
good. There's a lot of actors. There's a lot of actors who did double duty on stuff. That was pretty fun.
You almost want to be someone who isn't a Power Ranger. If you want a long-term gig, you don't want to be a Power Ranger. Because those people get cast a couple seasons, if not voice actors especially, they're cast for like whenever they decide they don't want to do it anymore, basically.
Exactly. Like once you don't want to keep making free money, you're done.
Yeah.
And then the Rangers are cast for like what, 2 seasons, and then you're on your own basically. Like we'll call you if we have a crossover, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They get kind of they almost get the shaft in a way. So
Yeah, like I feel like Power Rangers is like a career ender too. Like I like if you're a Ranger, your career ends with Power Ranger. It's like Star Wars. Like your career ended with Star Wars.
You label yourself as something that's really, I mean, it's national, or it's universal, I guess you could say, or whatever. Because even though it's not as huge as like Mighty Morphin was as far as pop culture, it's still syndicated throughout the whole entire world. So those people are like, yeah, if you're a Power Ranger, it's like you're a Power Ranger.
Yeah, like
forever.
that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But you can't be like the guy who played Sky. He was in 1 episode of Discovery. No, he was in 2 episodes. Whenever it came back for the alternate world, so he was in 2 episodes. He dies in the first episode. He's like you see him for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
the guy who played the Red Ranger for I want to say RPM.
Yes.
it was in Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, yeah, he nailed it.
Well, I will say the RPM cast, they have all done very well for themselves.
Ziggy's been in a bunch of movies. He's been a lead for a few movies. Yeah.
He's great. So the Red Ranger, he's in Jessica Jones, he's in some other stuff. He's really good. The guy who played Dylan, he's not really famous in America, but he was on a huge like soap opera that's like popular in Europe and New Zealand and stuff. Like he's a big name. We just don't know him as well in America. I'm trying to think.
Summer's doing something.
She did iZombie. She's doing a show called Ghost. Yeah, she's in Ghost now. And then she did, if you're Netflix people, she did the 3-part trilogy of The Christmas Prince. Pretty good,
What are you talking about? I have no idea what you
It's
just said. What?
Okay, so are you guys like the Hallmark Channel?
Oh no.
What's the Hallmark Channel?
Oh no, come on,
I'm fully aware what this is. Don't worry.
So there's like there's like this whole I don't know, like you have rom-coms, and now there's like the Hallmark movie where it's like a very cheesy, like feel good, there's really no villain, and it's always just like a misunderstanding that gets resolved at the end and everybody's in love and happy.
No.
So it's always like a Christmas love story.
Yeah.
And so she did a The Christmas Prince on Netflix, which is basically just this feel good story. And then they made a second one the next year, and then they made a third one. And it's so she's done those. And then
Okay.
yeah, anyway, sorry, I'll get off on my tangent on that.
Well, I'm just happy she's getting to work. Like she was a great little. She was great in that.
She's a
that
great
series.
actress.
Everything else I've seen her, and she's been really good. And then Ziggy, like he's been in a bunch of movies. Dylan's doing great.
Yeah.
What about the Scott? What's he doing? Do you have to anything?
Which Scott, the Red Ranger?
The Scott, the Blue Ranger.
Oh, the Scott. Oh, the Scott. Sorry.
I'm Scottish.
Yeah.
Sorry, because the Red Ranger's name is Scott, so I was like,
Yeah,
what? We already
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah,
I think he's also done some stuff too. I don't know as much about him, but from what I think he's done some things and does okay. But then like Liv Tennant, who played Dr. K, she has done she's done pretty consistently been in movies and been not like anything gigantic, but like she's done tons of stuff. Like
Okay, let me ask this. Wasn't that her actually playing the violin in the series?
yeah, she can actually play
Okay.
violin.
Oh,
I
what?
was thinking it was like, and then
Look
her and
up-
Ziggy got married.
Yes, they did, and then they got divorced. But if you look up, dancing in small spaces, she has like a YouTube channel, and she's a phenomenal dancer. And she choreographed the musical number for Beast Morphers. When they brought her back, they also had her choreograph the
What?
dance scene. Yeah,
Like, well,
Isn't
you
that
better
sweet?
use her talents, right?
yeah, she's all I'm like, she's one of my favorite actresses on Power Rangers ever. She's just a cool person and very talented.
I'm kind of mad they got divorced because like that was my favorite feel good story about the whole RPM series because it was almost cancellation. I was like,
I
oh
know.
man, well at least they fell in love and got married. And when did they get divorced?
Yeah.
I mean, they were married a couple years, I think. I mean, she was 18
Wow.
when they got married.
I'm gonna go with they were happy for a while, and it's better to have loved and lost, never loved at all.
You
That's
know,
what I'm
my kind of I would love to
the
interview. Yeah, I would love to interview some of these people, like or some of the actors and stuff that were on Power Rangers someday. But like, I would love to ask her just what is it like? Can you look back at like Power Rangers without having any sort of like negativity towards it?
Yeah.
Just because of relationships. Because she did a lot of stuff like when they were married, they did a lot of stuff like acting wise together.
Well, look at David Yost. He still looks fondly back on Power Rangers, even though when everything happened, he still looks. He's also early 50s.
Yeah,
I don't want to be like he's old. No, he's older, and he can look back
Right.
with nostalgia glasses on, and be like, it wasn't the gay bashing stuff was horrendous, but being around with my friends was great because they're still friends.
Well,
Like,
I
they're
mean,
still
right.
friends.
Well, I mean, for a new audience member, he's old, but for us, he's just slightly a little older than us. He's still pretty young.
For me, he's still my first man crush. It's all good. Like him, tank top, full on decked arms.
My
Oh
first
my God.
man crush was Cusco from
Cusco
from Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove.
I thought it was Paco. Poncho. I thought it was Poncho.
He's like,
You threw off my groove.
yeah.
You threw off a groove, man.
Oh,
I threw out the Emperor's groove.
Or what does he do? He's like,
I'm sorry.
he's like, conspiracies tonight. Zero to Hero, Casey, Esma. He smiles.
It's, dude. I know. I'm kind of amazed though with David Yost because he talks about it really positively, and then he's trying to do that. He's writing that like mini series of like a dedication to the cast.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I can't believe that's amazing that he's doing that.
He also has his own clothing line right now too.
Is it more phenomenal?
Probably more phenomenal or Blue Ranger, something like that.
Blue Ranger, yeah.
Something like that. The stuff looks cool, but it doesn't come with my size. So
I know, dude.
I
understand.
I wonder how much they make in a year doing Comic Cons for like the older ones, because I know they use their NIL on them, so like name, image, and likeness. I wonder how much money they can make in a year doing that.
Just look at how long the line is, and then be like, how long is that line? How many people are getting photos with them?
Exactly.
And kind of
because when I made Austin St.
do
John,
math off of that.
Say John was like $150 for like a picture, an autograph, and something else.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
it's up there. Oh
if
my
you
goodness,
think about it, like if 500 people got that, dang.
Yeah, I mean
that's right
I think
there,
they make a killing, and I mean, it's I don't know, it's like a double-edged sword because there's people who really get upset because they still don't understand that like when they were on the show, they weren't really paid that well.
No.
They
Oh,
didn't
no,
have
they
any
were
health
not.
benefits.
Uh-uh.
They were worked to the bone.
They didn't get
And
any residuals or anything like that from
yeah,
the reruns and stuff. Nothing. They got nothing
and
out of that show.
and there's toys all over the world now with their faces on it.
Yes.
And they got nothing for that.
I
And
think Hasbro's kind of hooked them up with some extra cash for the face
I-
and likeness stuff.
the whole Dave Chappelle thing with when Netflix put up the Dave Chappelle show and he like said, this isn't like I signed that contract when I was a kid. It was completely, like unfair of them to do what they did to me. And they were like, okay, screw them. We're going to change it. And then like, I think he gets money now for the Dave Chappelle show because no one would stream it anymore. And I was hoping Hasbro would do something like that.
Hasbro's good about making sure the people that work for them or the people they have access to or people like they have the likeness to the toys for are happy. Because if they get mad and want to leave, they don't got the likeness of that toy anymore, and you can't keep making money off of it. Hasbro knows how to play the game. Hasbro's been in the game for a long time. They gave Mark Hamill a lot of money when they start doing Star Wars stuff again. Yeah, they play the game. They play it well.
Yeah,
and
so I'm pretty sure. Like look at Steve Cardenas. He was going to every single Power Morphicon, every single one of them for years, and now he doesn't really have to go to them. Like you don't see him very often anymore because I'm pretty sure he's getting paid fairly nicely now.
He also moved to England, so I don't know if that has something to do with it. But I mean,
maybe,
it's
probably not.
but it's good. It's good that they do that because you're seeing all these people doing Marvel movies getting paid insane amount of money,
multiple digits, like multiple zeros after the first zero.
Yes, I mean tons, and they're they did like 3 movies, and it's like some of these people just worked. I mean, you look at like David Yost, and it's like he did 60 episodes season 1, like 52 in season 2, 33.
Like they're gonna pay a few $100s per episode.
Yeah,
maybe a few $100. Maybe.
I mean, he worked like crazy, and they just and he didn't really get much for it.
Well,
so
he couldn't like when he didn't leave with the original cast because Austin St. John, Trini, and Walter, because they joined the union. Like they're like, hey, we want to get more money. You're making a butt ton of money off of us. Like, all right, cool, you're written off the show. And everyone else is like, well, we can't ask for any more money. The only one who was making money off it at the time was Tommy or Austin. David Frank, because he was the show. It was the Jason David Frank show.
They had to bring him back because kids were like upset.
Yeah. So that's why they brought him back as the White Ranger.
Yeah,
because like
he was supposed to be the VR Trooper guy, but that didn't work out.
Because he left for VR Trooper, and so when he left, they killed off the Green Power, and they're like, "We need JDF back. How can we do it?" So they wrote in what was it, a Die Ranger?
Yeah.
So he was
white Die
they
Ranger
used
suit.
a Die Ranger suit in Mighty Morphin, which was Zoo Ranger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how Tommy was able to come back because they had basically had to write him back into it.
Yeah, and the nice part is the white Ranger suit looked just close enough to the Zoo Ranger suit so that could be pulled off.
It literally looked like
it wasn't out, like it wasn't weird enough looking. Though I really do like the Die Ranger suits. They look kind of fun.
They are cool.
If you ever go back and
do you ever watch like that series or like clips from it?
I've seen some clips. Yeah.
If you go back and watch, so the guy, the Super Sentai footage that they use, he's always jumping around and really enthusiastic.
He's like a 8-year-old
kid.
kid.
So it was a little kid that played him. So that's why it always looked weird whenever you're like, why is JDF jumping around like a little kid? Because the footage they used was of a little kid.
Yeah.
Have you seen the clips of the little kid running? Like he's running around and he like grabs a girl's butt.
Oh yeah, no, he was
like it's just a kid show, and he's like sexually harassing girls like everywhere. Like
pervert. Like it's ridiculous. It's a running joke in the series that even today is like,
Wait,
even
was that the
then
Super
was a little bit
Sentai footage
off-putting.
of
You're
that?
like,
Him doing that?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
Sentai
Oh,
show.
so
It's
it
not.
might be
It's
the-
not the Power
like-
Rangers. They would cut that out for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, the rest of the cast were like, it was really funny. Like, it was a joke series. Like, it wasn't supposed to be a serious series at all. Like, it's like Power Ranger wasn't serious. It's kind of the
Right.
weird stuff from Turbo. But like, that was a joke. And the thing is, cultural differences too. That's what's funny, really funny then for Japan. Like, that was hilarious.
Mhm.
Here, it's
Right.
like,
Yeah, we
Ooh,
frowned upon
Not
that.
funny.
Yeah, not funny here.
that's a
Yeah.
little funny, but not that funny. And now it's like, we're not gonna bring that up anymore.
Yeah, and that's something that I have to say. Power Rangers is surprisingly always been pretty advanced for its time. I mean, really, it has been. I mean, they decided to change the Yellow Ranger into a girl because they wanted more females.
Mhm.
They didn't want just to be a bunch of guys and one girl. And it's like, it's like I have a lot of respect for them for doing that.
And they were always doing communities, like they're always doing green stuff too. Like they were always trying to push
Yeah.
green stuff too, which I thought was really cool. But Saban was always pro environment as well. Saban,
Right.
the weirdest, like that dude was so weird, but he was like pro environment, and you're like,
I mean,
and that's why they kept
they were all
reusing
for the
stuff all the time.
community and all for doing green, but yet they
Except for
couldn't
the
even
parents.
stay in school. Come on.
I had so much fun, guys. I don't know. It's so much fun to do these like interviews and just talk because I've loved Power Rangers my whole life. And I just like, I don't know. I just have so much fun doing these. And,
Because
when I started my,
oh yeah.
you get, well, and I heard one of your episodes and someone said something like, yeah, not like these current seasons and how crappy they are. And you both immediately were like, well, give it a chance, dude. Watch it a couple times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, thank God. Okay. They're like me because the people who are like, oh, this current stuff sucks. I'm like, no, it's really good. Actually. Like,
There was like, yeah, there was like one time someone, I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Someone bashed something, and me and Jimmy both were like, whoa, at the same time. We're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
well, and the Power Rangers in general, it's like the whole show is about being accepting and like,
Yeah.
and so it's funny to me when people are just like, yeah, I like Power Rangers, but Overdrive should go kill themselves. It's like,
no.
geez, dude,
Calm
calm
down,
down.
yeah.
Like, first of all, it's
Give
Super
'em a
Mega Force
break.
to go kill themselves, and everything else is fun.
Yeah.
Super Mega Force
That's-
is weird, but it's
So
a
Jim,
kid's show, man.
Jim
Whatever.
sent me a Power Ranger hoodie, a Christmas themed Power Ranger hoodie in the mail.
Nice.
So I wore it to
Nice.
work, and they were looking at me weird, and I was like, and they were like, "Is that the Power Ranger hoodie?" I was like, "You damn right. I'm 32. I watch Power Rangers. So what? You know?
What about it?
Yeah.
What about it? At least I got some excitement in my life."
Like at least I got explosions in my life. Come on,
Yeah.
guys.
I do some weird, like I do some, or not weird, I do some subbing I've done like maternity leaves for music people.
Oh, okay.
And I'll do like a get to know, you kind of introduce yourself, and I always say like, have them do this quiz of like, what do you think my opinion is of these things? And so I go, what's the greatest like superhero team? And I have Avengers and like all that stuff and Power Rangers. And every time, I'm like, it's Power Rangers. They're like, what? You're too old to like Power Rangers. I'm like, I was born in 1991. Power Rangers came out in 1993. Okay.
Oh man.
You kids are too young to like Power Rangers. All right.
Oh, so what?
You
You're
kids have
30?
no
then?
idea.
I'm 30. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
No,
30.
you're the
years
same
old
age,
then.
buddy.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Right year back to year.
Isn't that, and what's so funny is that I've only done one other interview for the Power Ranger thing. And the guy I was talking to, he is 32,
Oh,
exactly 30. So I'm like, man, we're all just the exact age
yeah.
that we're like,
Yeah, we're right here, man. Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You feel old yet?
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, it's starting to get harder to do certain things.
Does your check knee light come on a lot?
check?
Your check knee.
Check me like I'm on a lot.
Come on.
I did show my son, who's 2. I showed him that I can do like the worm,
Oh no.
and he was like, so now he's like, oh, do it again, and I'm like, I can do it like twice, and it hurts so bad. I used to do it like in high school. Yeah. It's like, yeah, oh man, it's so painful. Yeah.
It's like when you look at the floor, you're like, that's too low.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta get off of that eventually.
Like I was,
Anything on the floor is just too low. It's out of reach.
Yeah.
It no longer exists.
like I told Jim one time, I was fixing the front end of my car, and my knees gave out, and I just laid on the ground. I was like, "Well, I'm fat, so I'll be here for about 2 weeks on the ground, you know."
Look, I won't die anytime soon. I swear.
I'm not gonna die no time
They'll come
soon.
find me eventually.
But dear Lord, if you're up there, just smite me now. Just
Like, Lord, if you're there, just take me now.
send a bear or something to eat me or something.
We're done. We're done.
Do you do what I do when you like? Because I'll do that like randomly. I'll be walking and my knee, like my leg, just gives out. I'm like, "What the?" And I fall, and then I just laugh. I'm just like, "Oh, this is depressing."
You're
And it
just
just
laying there. Like, the only thing
Yeah.
you can do is laugh because everything else
Yeah.
is just sad. Because you think
Yeah.
about it, you're like, man, I'm falling apart. And then if you,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
think about it too hard, it gets really sad. So you have to laugh about
Yeah.
it to not make yourself feel so bad. And then
Yeah.
everyone stares at you like you're crazy because you're laughing because you fell. And then
Right.
it's weird. Yeah.
Then you're just on a hysterical laughing moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just like, "Are you okay, sir? We need to call a hospital. Do we need to call the ER?" And you're like, "Dude, my insurance will cover it. An ambulance, right? Don't take me.
Yeah.
I'll drive myself. It's
Yeah.
fine." And the doctor's like, "You should have came here. You're okay."
God dang, that went on the whole thing.
Way too long of a conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay, but yeah, no, dude, it was great having you
Yeah.
on, man. It was
Thanks,
a lot
guys.
of fun. Like, this is whenever we have film to come on, we know about Power Rangers. We don't get to talk about the theories and everything else because it's mostly, we're just talking about what's going on, and so
Right.
we don't get to talk about the theories and all the other fun stuff behind the scenes. And I really do appreciate it. I really
yeah.
do. Thanks for reaching out to us.
Of
We-
course.
Really appreciate it. If you ever want to come back on, you're more than welcome
Oh,
to
yeah.
come back on and
Definitely.
hang out with us again.
I mean, I feel like we could talk for another 17 hours straight.
Yeah.
Most
and,
likely,
you
and
know.
and my partner's gonna be really mad at me. Like, why didn't you go to bed? I'm like, I'm not tired. I swear.
Yeah.
We're all messed
Not
up.
tired.
Yeah.
My eyeballs don't hurt. I swear. I'm gonna get more coffee.
Oh, well, thanks again for listening to this episode of Zero to Hero with our special tinfoil hat guest, Casey from the Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories.
From what state?
From
Illinois.
yeah, oh, okay.
Uh,
Today's episode was not sponsored by Coca-Cola Space Flavor. You know, do the do, man.
I was drinking water, guys. I
Oh,
don't know
you
what you guys
suck.
are about.
Oh,
There you
there
go.
you go.
Me too.
Yeah, water. Yep, water.
I just had a bottle around here.
Okay. So, where can people find you? It's on the YouTube channel, right?
YouTube channel, youtube.com/Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories.
There you go. Can you spell
That's
out
it.
conspiracy theories? We don't think we'll
Not off the top of my head.
Conspiracy.
Google it. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, and again, you can reach us at our website zeotohero.com or anything else. It's all Zero to Hero across the board of our social medias, except for our TikTok, which is Z2H Which I'm a genius that made that.
Someone decided to make it kind of weird.
Make it kind of
Mhm.
weird, but yeah, thank you.
Couldn't keep naming schemes down, could you?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of Zero to Hero podcast. If you definitely like what you hear and want to keep up with us, we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Zero to Hero. We are on TikTok at Z2H Pod. And we have a website of zeotohero.com.
Well, I think JDF. I think Tommy's green powers was created separately.
Well,
The
his
bit
was
in green are
his was
supposed to
being
have a
based off the
candle.
chaos energy.
Yeah,
His was based off
Yeah.
chaos
Oh,
energy. Yeah.
God, you guys are so good. This is like, I love it because I feel like I would normally be talking to people being like, okay, so like the dark dino gem, and they'd be like, what? And I'd be like, okay, so like, let me explain this. And like, you guys are already there.
Like,
You
oh,
already
give
know.
Give you 5 minutes. Let me explain this so you can be very confused.
Hey,
Yeah.
what we need is we need everybody to have a big cork board with pictures and red string and going everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you have to have the big string, and then you have to be like the Asian Yellow Ranger, the black guy Black Ranger, and like the racist question mark, and like circled.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can be like off of Always Sunny at the very end, like there is no Pepe.
Who is Pepe?
Who is Pepe? Oh my god!
Completely just completely off the walls. It was like, and the dude named Lauren showed up. Who's Lauren? I thought he was a girl.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore.
Oh my god!
Lauren's a guy's name now.